Most fans are probably thinking the Cowboys' pass rush is finished after that devastating blow from Micah Parsons' sudden exit. It hit us like a freight train, leaving the defense winded and supporters groaning in disbelief. But hang on a minute. We're talking about an immediate ripple effect here. The latest Dallas Cowboys news and gossip are heating up faster than a Texas July, with big-time names like Jaylen Phillips and Trey Hendrickson swirling around the rumor mill, possibly transforming our defensive edge into a quarterback's worst nightmare. Today, I'm breaking down how this could completely change the Cowboys' 2025 narrative, looking at the costs, the fits, and the hidden upside hardly anyone's mentioning yet. Howdy. I'm Tex, born and raised in Dallas, a lifelong Cowboys fanatic. I've tracked every snap, every rumor, and every Jerry Jones soundbite since Tom Landry's days. I've witnessed the glory years, the heartbreaks, and now this unpredictable 2025 season. Stick with me, because there's a twist coming. A trade might be brewing that could cost far less than folks expect, but bring a Dak Prescott-level MVP surge. Something that could thrust Dallas right back into the NFC spotlight. So, tell me, what city are y'all cheering from? Drop it in the comments. Let's see where Cowboys Nation's voices are echoing across America. Now, let's break this all down the right way, starting with the recent action. Remember that dominant win over the Jets last Sunday? That 37-22 beatdown felt like a cool breeze after those shaky early weeks. It also revealed a few cracks in the armor. Dak Prescott is playing at a near-elite level, tossing lasers to Jake Ferguson for 2 touchdowns and keeping the offense running smoothly, even as injuries pile up like stacked firewood. The offensive line held steady despite backup rotations, and the pass rush finally woke up. Dante Fowler generating steady pressure, Sam Williams adding bursts, and James Houston flashing glimpses of promise. Still, if you look deeper into the NFL's Dallas Cowboys coverage, one thing's clear. The NFC is wide open. No unstoppable team stands in our way. It's just a mix of good squads that Dallas can absolutely compete with, if we stay healthy. But right now, we're clinging to the 12th seed, barely outside the playoff frame, ever since losing Micah's gravitational pull on opposing offenses. That loss still lingers. The defensive front has depth, sure, but no dominant force drawing double teams. Pressures show up here and there. Fowler's 13% rate per PFF stands out, but the consistency to close out games just isn't there. Jerry Jones hinted during his 105.3 The Fan interview that he's open for business ahead of the 2025 NFL trade deadline on November 4th, with Will McClay backing the same tone. The message is loud and clear. It's time to move while the opportunity's hot. This isn't just idle chatter. It's the prelude to potential upgrades. That Jets game proved Dallas can dominate when the chemistry clicks. But without more edge power, they'll keep leaking yards and losing tight finishes. Now let's talk about what's keeping fans up at night. That uneasy feeling whenever an opposing quarterback drops back to throw. It's our pass rush problem, plain and simple. The Dallas Cowboys trade rumors show the issue loud and clear. Without a true alpha edge since the Parsons trade, no team fears us. They exploit us. The stats don't lie. 6 guys rotate through the edge group, but none create their own gravity. Marshawn Lattimore's pressure rate sits at just 5.5%. Jadeveon Clowney's at 11.4%, but he's only logged 4 total pressures. That's a patchwork effort. Run defense? Practically non-existent. Fowler and Houston can rush the passer, but they struggle against the ground game, forcing linebackers and safeties to overcompensate. In recent NFL Cowboys reports, Dallas ranks dead last in turning pressures into sacks, a serious red flag in an NFC pass-heavy era. That's why Jerry's trade deadline chatter is growing louder. This defense simply isn't closing games, and at 2-2-5, this team's far from safe. The urgency is real. And what happens next could define the Cowboys' entire season. The newest buzz surrounding the Dallas Cowboys paints a clear picture. Teams like the Bengals, Dolphins, and Saints are faltering, opening the door for their stars to hit the market. But if the Cowboys stay idle, that creeping doubt sets in. Can Dak's heroics alone carry this team if the defense can't close out games? Maybe it sounds alarmist, but it's a fair concern. The talent is there, no question. Yet without a defensive end trade, this squad risks missing the playoffs once again. And if the front office ignores it, who's to say we won't see a repeat of last year's collapse? That's the fear that keeps me tossing and turning, folks. Now, if this deep dive into our pass rush woes and Jerry Jones' subtle trade hints is striking a chord, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free, and you'll catch every Cowboys trade update before it hits the mainstream. But let me ask you, what's your take on the Micah Parsons trade impact? Still feeling the effects? Think this team can survive without a bold move? Because on one side of the field, Dak Prescott is out there playing possessed, slinging the football like a man on a mission. The guy's got an offensive line patched together with duct tape and determination, missing his top weapons, and yet he's carving up defenses like a pitmaster working a Sunday brisket. Fans are chanting MVP before he even leaves the field. And honestly, who can argue? Dak is the beating heart, the engine, the spark keeping this whole operation running. Without him, this team's wagon would be buried in the mud. It's the kind of football worth every penny of your ticket. But then turn to the defense, and good grief, it's enough to make a Texan pour out their sweet tea in frustration. It's painful to say, but this defense is softer than a slab of warm butter. At the current rate, they're on track to become one of the worst defensive units the league's seen in years. And that's not exaggerating, that's cold, hard reality. The secondary is getting diced up every week, and the pass rush couldn't scare a scarecrow right now. It's baffling, heartbreaking, and flat-out unacceptable. So here we sit, a quarterback playing lights out while the defense can't even find its footing. Talk about a Texas-sized headache. We're all caught in that emotional tug of war, the soaring optimism Dak inspires versus the sinking dread when the defense takes the field. It's the core conflict defining this Cowboys season. But hold up, there's a piece of Dallas Cowboys news today that might just swing things back toward hope. A familiar name has reappeared on the radar. The Panthers recently cut safety Israel Mukuma from their practice squad, a guy who knows Dallas inside and out. He was a solid contributor during his time here, and with Malik Hooker sidelined, the timing feels almost destined. This isn't some blockbuster move. It's a smart, low-cost, high-reward decision that just makes sense. Bringing back Mukuma would mean reuniting with a player already familiar with Dan Quinn's system, someone who can step in immediately to fill a critical gap. It's a simple, practical Texas-style fix to a growing problem. Which begs the question, if the front office doesn't jump at this opportunity, what are they waiting for? Are they really going to let pride or stubbornness stand in the way of helping Dak? So I'll leave you with this thought. We've got a gunslinger under center carrying this entire franchise on his shoulders. The real question is, will the rest of the organization step up and give him the support he deserves, or will they sit back and watch him try to do it all on his own? If you've enjoyed this breakdown on the Cowboys' defensive end trade options and how they could ignite a turnaround, hit that subscribe button, drop your favorite trade target in the comments, and share it with another fan. Who's your dream addition? Trey Hendrickson, Jaylen Phillips, or someone else entirely? Let's hear it, Cowboys Nation.